I'd like to say welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. We coming back with our second show for season three. Sorry I'm late coming on. Had to look up some information there, but we're going to get this thing started just real quickly. Um well, of course, today I don't know if I sent out notice, but we're going to be talking about picking back up on the child that was tased out at the Gosnell High School. Um, to where she was tased by a police chief. We're going to be talking about that as to try to understand why is this police chief hadn't been disciplined. Uh, that's one thing. We're also going to be talking about the lack of diversity for the Gosnell School Board. Okay, so those are two things that we're going to be talking about today. And I want to say I received a message that they had some checkpoints where they was detaining motorists here in Blytheville, Arkansas. Many of you saw the video footage of Mary Logan, um, how she had a slogan, "Enough is enough," referring to the homicide. We have had three people to die since the beginning of the year. Uh, of course, we all are pretty much fed up with it. We all are saying enough is enough. But nevertheless, she made comments that she was going to be detaining motorists who is traveling over the highways, or say the city streets, that is, um, checking for guns. Uh, but anyway, they did have a checkpoint. Many of you know that I started out, I did a Facebook Live, and I started out and I indicated that, it is constitutional to stop and frisk individuals when you have reasonable suspicion or probable cause, that is. But absent of that, it's considered a violation of one's civil and constitutional rights, actually constitutional rights. Okay, and but anyway, they did have checkpoints. Understand this here is that checkpoints is something that is considered for the sake of safety when it comes to the community. Okay, that's basically what checkpoints is for. Those people who are drinking and driving, due to the fact there's been so many car accidents, and many of those cases it's a result as one consuming too much alcohol. But I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna wrap up on that. But without any further ado, I got a guest on. I have the mom of the young female who was tased there at the at the school. We're not going to be speaking on anything that will be somewhat of uh, a breach, if you will, because this child is facing some um, some criminal charges, I understand, and so we're not going to really go over into the dive into the legal aspect of it. But anyway, but I do want to bring on the mom and want her to go ahead and share with us as to how her daughter is doing. Her daughter is doing. Um, how the family is doing as a whole. And so I'm going to be bringing her on right now. Um, Her name is Mrs. King. Um, she's from. Well, I'll let her tell where she's from. I get it mixed up with Gosner or Blytheville. But anyway, without any further ado, I'm going to bring my guest on and uh, and let her go ahead and speak to you and I testify as to how her daughter is doing. So we're going to bring her on right now, okay? So how you doing, Mrs. King?
I'm finding you.
Oh, I'm doing fine. See, you got Miss Jones there with you. Y'all doing all right?
Doing good, and you?
All right, just fine. Just fine. You know, as I stated to my audience, I don't want to say anything, and I don't want you all to go down any road that may be considered a legal issue. I mean, because as I stated, to my understanding, your daughter, granddaughter, she's facing some type of uh, juvenile trial that's coming up, as I understand. And so we really gonna walk that real fine line of not saying anything that will somewhat be a backlash on your daughter's case. Okay. So, but we're going to really get into this thing, and actually, before we start, I want to just show this video right quick of a grandmother and daughter or granddaughter who gave an interview with Channel 3 News. There are some that didn't see that video, so for that reason, I want to play it for that reason, along with just trying to bring the public up to an understanding as to how we got to where we at today. Okay, so let me run that video right quick, and hopefully it'll act right. So just give me a minute, okay?
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Podcast. Oh, okay.
Hey, how y'all doing? See, here's some. Still ain't getting that plate out. Can't work out.
Okay. I don't know if we had that on. Um, did we hear that?
I couldn't hear it.
You couldn't hear it?
I couldn't hear it.
Okay. Did you see it?
Couldn't see it.
Let me go back. Uh, so you didn't see or hear anything. I don't
No,
know
sir.
what is going on with uh, this share program that I have, but for some reason it was like that during the last show that we had. Uh, we're gonna try to. Uh, I'm gonna try to pull this up one more time because we really do need to show that. To go ahead and set the stage of the show. So let me go back up here and see if I can pull that up just one more time. Mm, because we really do need to show that. Okay. Hopefully, I'll be better prepared the next time. Um, okay. So I want to. ask you all a question. First of all, um, let me get this here. Okay, can you all see that now?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to play it and send me a text message if you can't, if you can, you don't hear it or see it. Okay, here we go. We're gonna try it again. I'm gonna tase you. Stop. I'm gonna tase you. Stop. I'm gonna tase you if you don't stop. Stop. Hey, did you want me to tase you? Stop.
A student at Gosnell High School is sharing her story tonight after she was tased at school. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Greg Hurst.
Hi, I'm Caroline. The incident happened after a pair of students squared off. The reason for the fight is still unclear. KRD's Mike Sirianni talked with the 16-year-old who says she was tased and is now traumatized.
Never been in trouble before. It's never happened to me before.
16-year-old Monteria Hancock has plenty of questions about why she was tased twice last week at Gosnell High School during a fight with another student.
Hey, I'm gonna tase you. I'm gonna tase you. Stop. I'm gonna tase you. Stop. I'm gonna tase you if you don't stop. Stop. Hey, did you want me to tase you? Stop. Stop.
This Gosnell police body cam video was given to WREG by Monteria's grandmother, who says the officer doing the tasing is the Gosnell Police Department's chief and not the school resource officer.
This is a girl. She have no weapons. She's laying on the floor. You tasing her, and she's screaming. And that was the most terrifying scream a parent or a grandparent can hear.
Anna Jones says her granddaughter has been bullied at school and believes things came to a head last Tuesday, but doesn't understand why only Monteria was tased and neither does the 16-year-old.
He comes straight to me and dives straight on me, and her foot's dead in my chest, but he tases me.
She says she was tased twice on her right thigh and her wrists were bruised after she was handcuffed. Anna Jones, who works at Gosnell Junior High, was not notified about the incident and says the youngster was taken to the principal's office with no legal guardian present.
You got good grades, don't you?
She's a good student.
I don't want to hit that up. I don't mess it up for you. But you've got to relax.
Gosnell's mayor calls the incident disturbing and he's contacted the city attorney.
All of us are working together, reviewing films and coming up with an idea of what was going on, exactly what had happened.
In Gosnell, Arkansas, Mike Suriani, WREG News Channel 3.
Okay, so hopefully we all saw that. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, and we heard that also. Correct?
Yes.
And so I just wanted to go ahead and set the stage for the show. For those who hadn't saw the video, I wanted them to have an opportunity to see it, to understand exactly, why we're here today. And so, like I say, I'm going to be real careful. I did notice the mayor. Is his name Mayor Jason? Is that his name?
Jason.
Okay. Have you heard from him?
No.
Haven't heard from him. Haven't heard from the principal of the school.
No.
Have not heard from any member of the school board.
No.
Nor have you heard from the police chief who tased your daughter.
No.
Okay. So how's your daughter doing? Talk to me about that. How Monterio is her name, right?
Yes.
So how's Monterio doing?
She's not doing. She feel like her childhood's been taken from her because of this fight and this incident that happened at the school. She went from being a good kid on a roll to now she is feel like everything has just been taken from her.
So when you say everything has been taken from her, I mean, as I understand, we talked earlier, she's you're homeschooling her now, correct?
Yeah, she's been homeschooled.
But if it was her choice, I imagine she would want to be in school with her friends.
Yeah, she want to be at school, but she's not ready to go back just yet.
She's just traumatized by
And from the
you know,
situation, and she don't know if it's going to be any more picking that's going to come from this, and then if it is more picking, if it is another fight, what's going to happen to her again?
mhm.
She don't know
and
what's going to happen.
and as I understand, I think we talked it earlier. Want to learn a little bit more about your daughter. Understand that even from the interview with Channel Three there, uh, your daughter hadn't been in any trouble at the school, correct?
None at all.
And she's a good student for her grades.
Honor roll student.
And I think I heard them say something, when they was talking. I imagine they was in the office somewhere when they was speaking. Uh, and so, honor roll student,
Honor roll student.
haven't been in any trouble, as she stated, and but they treated her. This is me talking. I don't want you all. Like I said, I know it's a legal matter, but in the manner that the police chief handled a female student, being a police officer who's should be physically able to restrain a female student, and I just can't wrap my head around to how he can resort to deploying his taser, uh, sending that most excruciating pain, electricity through your daughter's body.
Right.
And as grandmother stated, she's a female, she's a girl.
Mhm.
Come on now, she's a girl. And so that really, uh, I tell you, it was tough to watch. And I know for you as parents and grandmother, I know it was tough for you all to watch. And so, and let's talk again about Monterio. I mean, I know she's homeschooling. She's traumatized. Have she have you been seeking any type of help, counseling, or have she anything to do with medically in terms of how you're helping her to deal with this traumatic experience that she went through?
We're seeking therapy for because kids, they don't know how to express themselves sometimes. So we're seeking no counseling and therapy for to help her cope with the situation.
Okay, and um, I imagine she pretty much is tired of talking about it. And like I said, I didn't want her to come on no more than what she done been, I think, through so much already. And my heart is with her, and I'm glad that she's at least in home with family, and she's yet continuing her education, keeping her grades up too, I imagine.
Oh yeah, she just got honor roll again.
Okay, honor roll student. And so, without going too far into this theme, because like I say, it's a legal matter. Um, how does I think one of the teachers was speaking with her during that particular day. It's almost like she was going to vouch for your daughter. What kind of student she is. So, have you heard from any of her teachers from the school since she's been homeschooling?
None.
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 And I imagine they're not reaching out because of it's going through a legal process, I guess.
Either that or maybe the principal or superintendent probably told him not to reach out.
Right.
Okay. And I'm trying to be careful not to say anything that would be legal. So let me just follow you all lead. Mom, grandmother, or even yourself, Miss King. Exactly what is it that you want the public to know about this ordeal that you all are going through? And is there anything that the public can do in terms of helping? Because like I say, we still have uh, a police officer. I mean, I don't know if the school resource officer. I do know he was there that particular day. He's not the school resource officer, correct?
No, he's the chief of police.
Have you all found out why was he even at the school that particular day? Have anyone found out any information in that regard? I mean, what was he doing at the school? Don't they have a school resource officer?
They do.
They have a
And
school
what?
resource officer, and I can answer to that one because, and it's not going to affect the case or anything because the public needs to know. I work at the junior high school right across the football field from the high school.
Okay.
And we have a resource officer. They have two of them. One be at the junior high, and then they'll leave the junior high when they get through eating their lunch, and they'll go to the high school when the high school kids eat their lunch. Now, this chief said that he was at the high school that day because him and the principal made a deal for him to be at the high school in case any fights go on there for him to stop them. Okay, but if you look at the video very well, where some people didn't look at it good and start passing judgment on my granddaughter, he was in the cafeteria. He was looking. His camera was facing his device of walkie-talkie or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And and then all of a sudden, okay, you're in the cafeteria. You're supposed to be out there. You're supposed to be at the school to stop, make sure fights don't start. The cafeteria was clear. The lunchroom lady in there cleaning off the tables. Why was you out there in the hallway, walking the halls? To make sure everybody is okay. The kids going to the class. Nobody in the hallway starting to fight. Okay, because that could have been prevented. For me, it should have been prevented. It could have been avoided if he was out there doing his job. If he said he was there to make sure there was no fights, why were you still sitting in the cafeteria when no kids was in there? None. And I wasn't called. She sat in the office for I don't know how many hours. I was not called. Her mother wasn't called. How I got the call, her mother's in Tennessee at school, nursing school. She calls me because a student there, mother knows her and call her. And then she called me and say, Mom, get up to the school. You know, my chair got into a fight, police tased her. I'm like, what? Nobody told me anything. I runs over there to the school. I gets there. Everything is over. She's sitting in the office with the principal. I asked him, I said, why wasn't I called? Oh, my Terry, then I just got through telling you I started to call your grandma, but somebody probably already called her. There was no paramedics call. She wasn't taken to the doctor, but by my daughter, because I have to go back to work. When she came to the school, she took her to the doctor. He just tased a kid. You don't know if she has heart problems. You don't know if she had any kind of medical problems. You tased her and went on about your business. And that was it.
Wow.
There was no concern. The principal didn't have no concern. Then you had other people that's working at the school fighting kids. They didn't bring that up. They didn't bring none of this up.
Well, let me ask you this here. And speaking of that, with the fight and I really don't want to go into that, but but the police officer, I think I asked the question, where was the SRO officer? If the chief is not the school resource officer, where was the SRO officer? Where was he?
No telling.
I have no idea. I didn't even see him that day.
Okay. Do you all know who the SRO officer is?
Yes.
Okay. Who is it? I mean, that's public information.
Ronnie McShane, I think is
Ronnie
his name.
McShane.
All right. Oh, Ronnie. Oh, yeah, I know Mr. McShane. Oh, so that's right. He's in Gosnell. And so I imagine hopefully do they I pretty much like Blob, I think they rotate these SRO officers from one school to the other school. I don't know if that was something that was going on that particular day or what have you.
Well, it was a new officer that was hired too that usually be at the high school, but they sent him off somewhere else, so he wasn't there.
Well, let me actually say, Mom, you reached out to the superintendent to try to get on the agenda to discuss this matter, correct?
Yes, I spoke with him. I tried to speak with him several times, but he never did reply. So I went up there and I asked, could I get on the school board agenda to speak about the fight and how everything was handled? And he told me that my matter was not important enough to get on the agenda.
Wait a minute. You mean tell me you have your daughter who has been tased by an adult who happened to be the police chief. Your daughter has been tased, traumatized, in pain, embarrassed. And this superintendent respond back to you. I think I read it wasn't an inappropriate. What was it? It wasn't an appropriate matter for.
Matter or topic. Yeah, he said it
Yeah.
wasn't. He said it in so many words. Well, he told me out his own mouth that it wasn't important enough to get on the
Also,
agenda.
so he didn't want to even talk about it.
No,
Your daughter has experienced the most embarrassing, traumatizing experience that one can imagine, and he don't want to talk about it.
no,
I mean, forget the uh, uh, your request to be placed on the school board agenda, uh, but have he been at least willing to offer you and grandmother and daughter to his office to sit down and have a talk?
no.
That wasn't gonna happen. That's
He,
not gonna
he
happen
didn't
with
want to
him.
speak with me that day. He didn't want to speak with me until I
Also, he
came.
didn't even want to talk to you.
No, this is not my first time reaching out to him. I reached out to him last year, and I think I even had your help on that, and he
Yeah, I
didn't even
remember.
reply back.
So you mean tell me we got and that really troubles me to know that he won't even sit and talk with you about this issue.
Nope.
And this, and we're going to talk about this other part of the school board as well. No school board member has reached out to you.
No.
None.
And we can't reach them either. If their information, their contact is information is nowhere to be found.
I want to talk about that school board, and let's show that right now, because as I understand, the school board, from what I've learned, let me go up here and try to find it. Uh, but before we talk about the school board, I want to talk about this. Well, I'll come back to that. Let's talk about the school board, and let's do this right now. Okay, now. I'm pretty sure you all can see those gentlemen, correct?
Yes.
That is the, what's that, 1, 2, 7 school board members. Those are the 7 school board members, correct?
Correct.
Look like I got my banner in the
And one of
spinning in one of those guys' face, but I'm pretty sure I'll show him later. But this is the school board right here. Now, I want to go over here and see if we can pull up their names. Let me see if we can go. That's something else there. Okay, now these are the school board members as they was like from bottom row up and whatever. The vice president is Gary Payne. The president is Donnie Wright. The secretary is John Wise, I guess that's how you pronounce his name. The top row, that is, from left to right, is Doug Johnson, Michael Jaquan, Greg McGarrett, and Lee Ketchum. So those are the names there. Again, these are the guys. Let me see if I can blow that up just a little bit more. Don't know if I can. Let me go back. But these are the gentlemen right here who sits for the Gosling School Board. All right. And so those are your findings. As we understand, if we can go back and look at this photo again, right here, let me bring it down a little bit. Right here, we have 7 gentlemen who sits for the Gosling School Board. Without me saying anything, unless I'm blind, there's no diversity on this school board.
none at all.
We have 8 white men who sits on the school board, and I imagine they've been there for a while, hadn't they?
Yeah, probably so. They look like they've been
Okay,
there.
there's no diversity in regards to black and brown people. I like to try to keep it real. There's no diversity when it comes to black and brown people sitting on this board. Not only is there no black and brown people to sit on this board, but there's not even a female, black or white, to sit on this board or any other minority race. I just can't wrap my head around it. Have you all known for a while that this has been the case with this with this school board having no diversity, uh, uh, for the Gosnell School Board?
Yes, that's how the whole school pretty much is. Like the workers and everything is pretty much like that.
And so, yeah, I heard about that. So not only is the school board, not only is all male and all white, but I understand that even from uh, a teacher's perspective, I mean, for as the staff or whatever, tells me that the numbers in terms of diversity is not good in that field either when it comes to black and brown teachers and other minorities.
Mm-mm.
Wow. All I can say is wow.
Right.
And so here in Blytheville, whenever there's a situation that goes on with one of the students, at least, you can get in contact with the school board rep for your
Right.
particular school zone.
Mhm.
I think mom know uh, for a while, uh, I didn't even know the email address for the school board. It's not even listed on the website. I mean, talking about transparency, how is it? How do you feel as a mother who have a child that's attending the Gosnell school district and they are elected, okay? They are elected by the voters, the taxpayers, the people. How is it that they are in an elected position and they care not to be transparent in terms of giving you, the mom, the parents, their contact information? How are parents to communicate with their school board rep if they refuse to at least put their contact information on the website? How do you all feel about that?
Mm,
I mean, I would be
I
frustrated.
feel it's frustrating, but at the same time, she just now started going to gospel. Like this will be her second year. So again, we never had to go through anything like this until now. But now finding out we can't even get in contact with them is just let me know that's how they want it. They don't want to be known. They don't want nobody get in contact with them. They want you to go through the superintendent, which is the head, so that way he can wing out what he want to be known and what he don't want to be known.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
they get it how they want it.
what I tell you, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's to have a school board rep, and there's no way that you can make contact with them to have a discussion about, um, the well-being of your daughter. In this particular case, it has to do with safety. Um, I don't know. I just can't wrap my head around that. A pure white school board. And I know Gosnell, the city of Gosnell, has a very high percentage population that is of black folks,
Mhm.
but there is no representation on the school board uh, to be a voice, that is, for black students and black parents.
Nope.
Wow. Well, I appreciate you all coming by, talking with me. Like I say, I know there's some legal matters that need to be resolved, and I really don't want to dive too deep into it. But I do want to extend some time to either one of you. Like I say, if there's anything that you need to speak to the public about in terms of getting this information out, because I know in some cases, the media, um, I hate to say it, but they pick and choose
Yeah, that's
what
right.
they want to air to the public, or print to the public, excuse me. And so I'm going to extend this time to either one of you to go ahead and share with the public, uh, some things that you feel that the public need to hear, or how they can help, or what should they do, because let's face it, there's other black parents in Gosnell that have children that attend the Gosnell school system too. And so, if you had anything to speak to, whether it's parents throughout Mississippi County or just the parents there who have students participating in the Gosnell school district, I mean, I'm going to extend that time to you all to go ahead and, share whatever's on your heart.
Okay. First off, the whole situation was uncalled for. You have a chief that's supposed to be trained, highly trained, come and tase a girl, which he could have been avoided. He could have just pulled her away from the other girl and it could have just been over with. He manhandled my child. He messed up her life. This is supposed to be her time to enjoy her young years. But now it's been taken from her. Then you got grown people that want to judge the situation and they don't even know the situation. A child that's been good majority of her whole life, never been in any trouble. Her first time ever getting into any kind of trouble,
fights,
never been in any trouble. Her first time ever taking up for herself, finally defending herself. She got to go through courts, tase, handcuff, humiliation. I mean, she got to go through the works. And she got to try to fight to get her name back.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's something else.
Yeah, going through the juvenile department, we had to take her up there, and they treating her like she's a criminal, but she's not used to that.
How does that process work? I mean, how did she even end up in going to juvenile? I mean, as I understand, don't this supposed to be? She hadn't been to court yet, have she?
Not yet, but she has trial set for next month because the other student pressed charges on her.
Her mother, grandmother, whatever she is to her.
They pressed charges against
on
her.
her. Saying that she harassed the little girl. How she harassed her? How you gonna fight the same day and harass somebody the same day?
We never got any.
These charges you're talking about, are these charges? Does it relate to this fight, or was it something before or after, or what?
It relates to this fight.
The fight only.
You mean tell me two young ladies is scuffling? I mean, like I say, I'm not gonna get too. I'm talking about what I saw.
Right.
What I saw was just a scuffle. I'm just gonna call it for what it is.
No.
Now, this is me talking. Had I saw one or the other, I'm saying either of them. Had I saw either one of them is up and they are wailing down on the other one, hitting and striking, or maybe they had a weapon, attacking the other, I can understand then, especially if the officer feel like he couldn't control the situation. Maybe I can understand then him probably referring to some physical force, if you will. Maybe I could understand that at that point in time. But my eyes, what I saw of all the video footage out there, even with Channel 3, from what I saw, this is me talking now, I didn't see where there was any justification for the officer to deploy his taser. What I did hear was him giving a command. It was almost like he was telling her stop or something like that. And by me looking at the video, I'm trying to connect the dots. Okay, you gave the command, but what is it that either of the girls is doing for you to threaten to tase one of them? I'm looking for that. I didn't see anything that would warrant the chief of police deploying his taser on either one of the girls. I didn't see it.
I didn't either.
And so I guess the question was that I had put up here earlier, if I may find it, the question that I did put up here was that, I wanted to know this here. Number one, and I think, actually it's not number one, but the question was, should a person be charged with a crime for using a taser on a child? Actually, that's a weapon, okay? Let's call it for what it is. That's a weapon.
It's a weapon.
Okay. Now, I've read of cases, know of cases to where a parent not no stranger, but a parent, don't found themselves standing up in front of a judge for verbally using verbal conduct toward their child, but it was loud, it's almost like the expression was on the parent's face to the point to where in the eyes of the law, they thought that the parent might hurt the child. So that warranted that parent being given some type of citation, charge, or whatever, where he or she is standing up in front of a judge. And this is where we're talking about a parent shouting at their child. Or if in some cases DHS get involved and they be standing up in front of another judge for abuse. That is verbal abuse or that is physical abuse. Now let's contrast that with, compare and contrast that with a police officer using a taser, a weapon, on a 16-year-old female. How does one do that without being wanted to use their taser and they not be charged with a crime?
Right.
At the least, that's child abuse. Actually, it's assault, physical assault, what I call it. That's a crime.
Right.
But the mayor, the Gosnell School superintendent, the Gosnell all-white male school board, nobody cares about, what's your daughter's name again?
Monteria.
Nobody cares about your daughter, young lady, honor roll student, hadn't got into no trouble. Don't nobody care about Monteria.
Nope. She don't have nothing to offer at school. She's not running a football. She's not bouncing the basketball. That's why.
She's not on the cheerleader team.
Yeah.
Ask how many black faces you see on the cheerleader team.
And oh yes, and that's what I wanted to do. I know I'm talking about that's a weapon, how one wants to be charged or whatever. I want to show this here, this policy. I did manage to look up the policy myself. I couldn't get the superintendent to work with me, so I had to, search, and I did find a policy, and I want you all to look at this policy that I'm finna put up on the screen, okay? And then we'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. Okay. So let me go up here and find this policy right about now. Okay. I got to put this stuff in my switchboard. I was rushing today and I couldn't get everything loaded the way I wanted to. But anyway, this is the policy right here that I'm finna put on the screen right now. And I'm pretty sure you all can see that, correct?
Correct.
Okay, now I get it, and I'm going to be moving it side to side because it's small writing. This is the policy from, this is a policy from the Gosnell handbook in terms of their policies, okay? There's a number on this thing. Let me go up here and see if I can find it first. Here you go, right here. If you all want to look this policy up for Gosnell School District, as you can see, the revision date there, the date adopted, was April the 23rd, 2012. Okay. This is their latest policies right here for the 22-23 school year. So this is still good policy. Okay. Now what that says is that it's a licensed personnel weapons on campus. That's what they're talking about. Okay. As you can see right there, it's talking about firearms right there. It's letting know exactly who has the authority to carry a firearm, but that's not what I want to get to. I'm just showing this here right now, where it say, except as permitted by this policy, no employee of this school district, including those who may possess a concealed carry permit, shall possess a firearm on any district school campus or in or upon any school bus or at a district designated bus stop. Okay. Now there is talking about firearms. Okay. It's talking about firearms. Now, I know that this particular police chief used it a taser on your granddaughter. So let's go and see what it say about tasers. We're gonna scroll on down here. You see where it say other weapons?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now let's go ahead and read that. Now, it say an employee may possess a pocket knife for the purpose of this policy is defined as a knife that can be folded into a case and has a blade or blades of less than 3 inches or less, 3 inches or less each. An employee may carry for the purpose of self-defense a small container of tear gas. You hear me? Tear gas or mace. Okay, we really do need to lock in on those words there. I'm trying to highlight it there. Tear gas and mace. Okay. Now say that they can have these two defense objects, if you will, but it say which for the purpose of this policy is defined as having a capacity of 150 cc's or less. Employees are expected to safeguard such items in such a way as to ensure they are not possessed by students. Such items are not to be used, here it comes, go up, are not to be used against what that say? Students,
Parents.
or other school district employees. Possession of weapons, knives, or self-defense items that do not comply with the limits contained herein, the failure of an employee to safeguard such items, or the use of such items against students, parents, and other school district employees may result in disciplinary actions being taken against the employee, which may include termination or non-renewal of the employee. I'm gonna stop right there. Did you all see that?
Yes, we did.
So again, what I'm asking, for them, somebody need to help me understand, how is it that the school have a policy that specifically talks about weapons and other weapons? That it be maze, and what's that other one? I think it's tear gas or something like that. Pardon me?
Mace and tear gas.
Yes. How could, which is a whole lot less if you had to grade these weapons, gun versus mace, whatever. If they don't want you using these little less chemical weapons, such as mace, tear gas, and all that, how in the heck do the police chief think that it's okay to use a taser on a 16-year-old female student and think that's okay? People have died from being tased. So there go the policy right there. So after me reading the policy there, that's the policy. That clearly say that this weapon, that's what it is. It's a weapon, a taser. It clearly say that this weapon should not be used against a student or a teacher, and it mentioned not a teacher, a student, and employees, and they mentioned someone else. I can't think. I have to go back and look at it. But again, let's go back. I wanna make sure I'm saying, oh, there you go. Students, parents, or other school district employees. Okay, that's exactly what it says. So again, I have to ask the question: why isn't this policy being enforced?
Right.
See, if you had a school board member who was willing to post his uh, contact information, you could call him and have a discussion with him to ask him this question. You are supposed to be a policy making board.
That's right.
This is the policy that specifically address weapons and other weapons and how they should not be used on students, teachers, or other employees, or what have you, or parents. These weapons are not to be used only in the case of self-defense.
Right.
So that's the policy. Hopefully you all will, and I can get that policy to you, when you get ready to go to court, because someone else need to be charged in this matter.
Oh yes.
Someone else need to be disciplined.
Oh yes.
The policy said that this weapon that was used on your daughter, your granddaughter, that's prohibited. It said you can't use those type of weapons on students, personnel, and others. It mentions students. I don't forget again. Students,
Boys.
parents, and employees. Yes. And so I will get that policy to you. Hopefully you can get it to your attorney, because I know this is a legal matter. He probably already have it. But if he don't, please do give it to him. That policy is like the blueprint for them to enforce the rules and regulations for the Gosnell School District. You can't enforce the law by breaking the law.
Exactly.
All right. And so I give you all an opportunity to go ahead and wrap this thing up, if you will. And so, mom, grandmother, whatever, I'm gonna go ahead and let you all, just speak to the voters, speak to the concerned parents, speak to the citizens, and let them know how they can help by making sure that this police chief be held to account.
Well, Tony Hollis, the only thing I really have to say, first of all, I really hate talking about the situation because I'm still angry.
I understand.
I still have a lot of hatred.
I understand.
And I ask God to remove it from me, because a lot of our Black people have then got on social media, have tried to discredit my granddaughter, trying to say that we want her to be more than what everybody else. It's not that we want her to be more than everybody else. We want her to be something in life. We want her to be somebody in life. We want her to stand up for herself, stand up for what's right, fight for her rights. That's what we want. But you have, I'm just going to put it out there like it is, ignorant people that wants to get on social media, grown folks, and talk crazy talk. But my thing is, what one day it might be your child. Then what you going to say? What you going to do? Because some folks out there in Gaza don't love you no more. They love us.
All right.
And another thing about it is, what if, and that will keep running through my head, what if he made a mistake and took his gun out instead of a taser?
Exactly.
And shot me.
That have happened.
And then say, oh, I made a mistake. I was reaching for my taser, but I got a gun.
That have happened.
So before you all pass judgment, think about your kids. Go out there to the schools. Not just Gaza school, any school your kids go to. Go out there. See, could you talk to the superintendent? See, could you talk to somebody on the school board? And see what the policies are. Read the policies instead of just put them in your hand and sign off and say you got it. Go out there and see what's going on at these schools. Walk through the schools. I do it. I go out there all the time when I was when I was out there subbing. I see things go on, and I'm like, hey, how this going on? But my thing is for the people that's running their mouths and stuff. Hey, instead of we all should join together and try to make things right for our kids. If you want an education for your child and you want your child to be safe in the school, I mean, this is supposed to be a safe haven for our kids when we send them off to get their education. It's more like what you send them off to get murdered, brutalized, beat down, tased, shot. This is a school. So what you mean? What are you all looking for? You should want the best for your kids, just like we want the best for my granddaughter and her daughter. You want the best for them. You want them to have an education. You want them to be somebody. You want them to do something in life. So my thing is, it really upsets me to talk about it. Like I said again, but
I understand no one had nothing been done as well.
Yeah, nothing been done. No, I took her out of school, put her on virtual. Then they still doing this little slick stuff. They won't send her schoolwork to her. She's supposed to be back in school on the 4th of April. I told them on the 4th of April she won't be coming back. She needs to be virtual. They gave her some work. The teacher's been calling saying she called the teachers and tell them that she didn't get her work. Well, the teacher said he gave it to the school lady 2 days ago. She never did bring it. She never brought it. They put the big old thing. Oh yeah, they put this big old thing on Facebook. All the people they had honor roll. But remember, she's in the 10th grade, so they put on the Facebook for the school. Everybody that's got honor roll is in this picture. So that means she got honor roll. They send it to the teacher over here, but other words, they're saying, well, she didn't get it, so we're not going to even name her. No, the little slick, silly, stupidity stuff they put on there.
Oh, she been isolated from the photo.
Yeah, from the photo. Even her name is not even on there. So that's why I took a picture. I took a picture of her honor roll and put it on Facebook myself to let everybody know, yes, she did get honor roll.
That's great. Well, that's great. Good. She have a good family support system there. Mom and grandmother. And so she's blessed to have that. Well, Mom, you want to go ahead and give your final words in closing?
Yes. Like I told her, win, lose, or draw, however this come out, at least she gonna know that her family was gonna stand 10 toes down, deep down for her. We gonna fight. We're gonna go up head. We're going straight to the head, and we're gonna fight till we can't fight no more. If she don't take nothing else from this, if her friends don't take nothing else from this, at least they know when they go back, hey, the chief won't be back in there no more tasing and doing nothing else. At least they're gonna know, well, at least they went up against the school trying to get something done. Well, it may help. It didn't start with Monteria, but I'm gonna try to make sure that it ends with her. So well, that's the only thing I'm trying to take from this right now. Like I said, I don't care how it comes out. At least she gonna know that we stood right there and we fought for her.
Well, I really appreciate you both for coming on, and like I say, Monteria got a good, strong family support system all built around her, and I have no doubt that that she will get through this here and continue her education, that it be with Gosnell or elsewhere. And I just want to say, my heart is with you all. If anything I can do to help, don't hesitate to call. If you need to use this platform to speak, then by all means, you're welcome back. And I thank you both for coming on, testify, sharing your stories, and want to say, may you both have a blessed remaining evening.
And I thank you for having us on.
All right now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the mother and the grandmother of Monterio, the young lady who was tased out the Gosnell school district. As I stated earlier, they have heard not one mumbling word from the district in regards to their child being traumatized that particular day, being tased by the police chief of Gosnell. This is again, and this is very important. There need to be more diversity on the Gosnell School Board, that will be willing to talk to parents, especially um, uh, parents of color, black and brown parents. This is an all white male school board. Okay, all white male school board. Not one of them has reached out to this family. Okay, I don't think that uh, that is. I don't think that's in the best interest for the Gosnell School District to have a board to where the representation uh, is not there for parents who look like me. There need to be more diversity on the Gosnell School Board. And if it means redrawing the lines, for those of you who live in the city of Gosnell, uh, you need to really make this an issue. I just can't wrap my head around how is it that we have the population of Gosnell in terms of percentage of African Americans. How is it that you have a population that is more than 10%? I think that's the threshold, 10% or more. You know, uh, uh, ideal is to have a board that is more diverse, that represent uh, the population that they claim to serve. And there is no diversity on this Gosnell School Board. 100% white, 100% men. And that shouldn't be. Uh, that's all I have. I will be coming back sometime. I really want to go ahead and educate the public on the checkpoints, traffic checkpoints, and saturation patrol stops. They both kind of similar, but both of these programs, that it be checkpoint or that it be saturation stops, uh, they both actually started out ideally uh, to do with safety. This was not about trying to use safety uh, somewhat as a blind uh, to where you're trying to uh, hopefully make other charges. You know, it's about safety. Checkpoints is about safety. It's not about anything else but safety. Now, if you come into the situation to where you detain a particular uh, vehicle and you smell alcohol, oh yes, that is probable cause. Not only do you have a reasonable suspicion, but it's probable cause to have that motorist uh, to take a breathalyzer test. Okay. Now, those are some things that can happen. And through the course of that probable cause, now you're searching the vehicle for alcohol. And in searching the vehicle for alcohol, you come across some weapons or you come across drugs or something to that effect. Uh, then, yes. Uh, so now you're in deep trouble. It's not just about you being uh, given a citation for a traffic violation, but now if they find other things in your possession that is considered to be illegal, then yeah, you're in a whole world of trouble. But if the officer stop you, ask for license and registration, and there's no other reason for him to continue to detain you or for her to continue to detain you, they should thank you for your cooperation and send you on your way. They are not to try to snoop until they find something. That's not how checkpoint and saturation patrol work. That's not how it works. Okay, and so if any of you believe that doing that stop, that your license and registration just wasn't enough to satisfy them, but they just kept snooping and snooping and snooping until they found something that they believe that they need to charge you or in some cases arrest you, then you might need to speak with an attorney. And in closing, one thing that happened here in Blytheville that I've been hearing, that there are a few cases to where when they was detaining people, the people that actually get hurt the most when they have these checkpoints are people that are good people that don't commit any crime. For example, a person on his way to work and he run into one of these checkpoints. Busy day and it's Friday. He's on second shift or graveyard shift. Didn't have time to get down to the revenue office to uh, uh, take care of his expired license or his expired tags for his renewal. Didn't have time to renew his license, his driver's license or his tags, because it just was a busy day and it caught up with him. He's on his way to work. He get caught up in that checkpoint. So now he got to go and stand in front of a judge because his license expired. But they supposed to be out, according to the mayor, they're looking for guns. Well, guns and license registration is like day and night. So I guess my answer would be for all of those other charges, arrests that they made. I heard they made some arrests. If they didn't have any guns, that's what you claim you were looking for. If they didn't have any guns, at the officer discretion, why couldn't they just write a warning? Get your license, get your registration. I don't know if they did that. Maybe in fact they did, but I do know one case in particular that traffic stop led to a person being arrested. And it didn't have anything to do with guns. It didn't have anything to do with drugs. But that person was arrested, a person who works. So I'm going to be sometime or another, I'm going to be giving a show on checkpoints, letting you know exactly what are your rights. And this particular checkpoints that they had just a few days ago, there are certain things that when they have these checkpoints, they should, first of all, make it public knowledge that they're getting ready to have one of these checkpoints. They supposed to give the time, day, and the locations. Any location where they're going to have one of these checkpoints, that information is supposed to be shared with the public. Not only is that information supposed to be shared with the public, but they should also have things for as what they call it a safety plan. There should be a plan. You know, what if this happened? What's the plan? What if that happened? What's the plan in terms of traffic? Traffic becoming congested. What's the plan to thin the traffic out and be safe at the same time? What's the plan? Who signs off on the checkpoint? Okay, there should be some kind of document, as I read, that showed the number of arrests that they made and what was those charges. I will be submitting my FOI. I need to know exactly how many guns they would find, although that's not supposed to be the purpose for checkpoint. Checkpoint is supposed to be about safety, traffic safety, getting all the drunken drivers off the streets. Okay, especially we're coming into the season where graduation, our kids, 18 years old, 17, 18 years old, you know, some didn't return home that particular night because these 17, 18-year-olds consumed that alcohol and they had an accident. Some were seriously hurt, some not so seriously hurt. And sadly, there were some of these kids that didn't go home. That's what checkpoints is about. It's about safety. It's not about you using checkpoints to go out to try to find guns or trying to find drugs. We're gonna talk about that some more. But anyway, I thank you all for listening to um, Miss King and Miss Jones as they discuss about their daughter, granddaughter, and hopefully, and come on, people, this is not about uh, uh, trying to place blame on anybody. Like I say, I'm not even into trying to find out who started the fight. I'm against black on black fights, crime, or whatsoever. I'm not about that. What I am about is that when it comes to fairness, was there fairness here? Did this police chief, a big strong man, a police officer who was trained to handle situations like this, could he have done something else to uh, restrain this young female student, 16 years old? Could he have done something else other than deploying his taser, sending pain, electricity through that young child's body? I would say he could have done something else. He's trained for that. And if we got a police officer, the chief that is, highest ranking officer for the Gosnell Police Department, if we got a chief that cannot restrain a female student without deploying his taser, that chief need to be looking for another job. That's all I have, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting ready to close. I'd like to say thank ANC this past weekend, how they had a exercise, or what I describe as a walkathon. I did participate in that. It was great. We had good conversations, great food. I walked with a gentleman. We walked our laps around uh, the property. We talked all the way around the number of times that we did walk. I don't think we did but 2 laps. That was enough. Me, I'm so out of shape, but I thank ANC for the programs that they're doing. And there also is going to be another program. I want to put it up here, not a program, but a seminar to where they're going to be having a, what do you call it? Uh, Sealing your record. And so they're going to have another one of those those events coming up for those of you who want to have your record seal expunged. I think they're going to be uh, talking some things when it comes to pardoning as well. And so let me find it. I don't know if this is it or not. I think it is. But this is the clinic. Of course, this is over in Creighton County, Arkansas, Ex-Offenders Day, Saturday, April the 29th. Okay, that's the day. It say, what is that? Letter Arena, 503 West Broadway, West Memphis, Arkansas. And these are the bullet points that you can see right there. They're going to be having a record. What is that? I'm gonna knock it back down. Record sealing clinic, pardon information clinic, job fair, health fair, educational fair. So those some things that they're going to be having at the same time. Legal questions contact. There's the email address there to you, to my right, to your right as well. Uh, you also got a code where you can scan for the registration. They're going to be talking jobs, education, health fair, questions and all. And so there's numbers for that. Not number, but contact information, afairly at dominantworld.org. So govern yourself to that date, that Creighton County, Arkansas, Creighton County, Arkansas, which is over in West Memphis, Arkansas. Call it Ex Offenders Day. Want your record seal, pardon information, job fair, health fair, educational fair. So please get by and do participate in that. Uh, I imagine you can, although you're from Mississippi County, but check it out for those of you who want to get your record seal. Okay. So that's all I have, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you all for tuning in. And hopefully we'll come back next week uh, and try to start on time and hopefully bring you another great show, the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show, Sunday, 6 o'clock p.m. So I want to say, may God bless, may God keep you. And until then, peace and love.